Welcome to San Diego, California. Martin Luther King weekend here in this fine city. A parade this morning through the streets of downtown San Diego. There's the message. Ladies and gentlemen, we've got college basketball at the Jenny Craig Pavilion. Gonzaga on the road to play the San Diego Toreros. West Coast Conference basketball action. You're now inside, and now we take a look at the West Coast Conference standings. Gonzaga perfect 2-0 to start. Pepperdine also there at 2-0. There you see San Diego. They open league standings with a win since they've lost 2 in a row. It's great to see everyone again. Greg Heiser and Craig Elo. And Craig, let's start by jumping back Thursday night. Moraga, California. What a game between Gonzaga and St. Mary's. It was a bloodbath.
It was an epic battle between two rivals, and I tell you what, Sam Hand, he held up his end of it, but I thought that the Zags played him very physical, took him out of the game in the first half, but came back in the second half and had a huge night. Even with the pressure that you see on him, the guy was able to score 31 points, but he couldn't match the effort of Elias Harris. Harris just was awesome. He did everything for the Zags. He was on the defensive end. He didn't get that one, obviously, but on the offense, he played above the rim all night long. He himself had 31 points, and I tell you what, I like this young man.
Yeah, a 6-point win by Gonzaga. Well, if San Diego can avoid a 3-game losing streak, they're going to have to look to Brandon Johnson. This guy's going to have to be huge tonight.
Brandon Johnson, he's the key to this offense. This guy takes all the shots in the Toreros offense. You can see he's at 1,600 points. When he finishes his career here as a Torero, he will be the all-time leading scorer in Torero history, and it's because of plays like that that has made Brandon Johnson a guy that you got to be real concerned about on the offensive end.
And it'll be on Dimitri Goodson to try to slow down Johnson if he can. Time will tell. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll get you tonight's starting lineups and the tip-off when we come back live from San Diego. Stay with us. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back inside the Jenny Craig Pavilion in San Diego. It's Gonzaga, now ranked number 17 in the nation, on the road against the San Diego Toreros, who are looking to break a 2-game losing skid now inside West Coast Conference play. In San Diego, well, this is a wonderful opportunity for them. They can really resurrect the season with a win tonight against Gonzaga. We take a look at the starting lineups. Goodson and Bolden and Gray, the guards for GU. Sacre and Harris on the front line. Head coach Mark Few now in his 10th season as the head coach of Gonzaga, and he's winning nearly 80% of his games. Here's head coach Mark Few. Actually just over 80% now, 80.1. And for San Diego, Johnson, Dord, Jackson, the guards, the centers, Mafra and Lewis. And head coach Bill Greer now in his 2nd season with San Diego, a former longtime assistant with Gonzaga. We are underway at the Slim Jim. Greg Heister and Craig Elo.
You know, I'm going to add a stat for you on that Mark Few. In the West Coast Conference, he's 128-13 for a 90% winning percentage.
And Sacre with the big block for Gonzaga, and now Matt Bolden with it for GU. Right to Harris. That huge game the other night. Little dump down now to Sacre, who can't finish. San Diego really collapsed in there defensively. Time now to take a look at the keys to the game, brought to you by Northern Quest Resort and Casino. Craig?
Well, the last time that the Zags played here, it was a 58-47 ball game. They want that tempo to be a lot faster. They want that score to be up in the 80s. And, hey, they got a mouse in the house. They're a small lineup. No one can guard Elias Harris down there. Go to him every time.
And now Mafra running the floor well, and there's Sacre with his 2nd block of this game. But San Diego looking to push the ball up the floor here.
And then the last key, Greg, is Jackson and Johnson are both the main clogs of the Torero offense. And it's going to be up to Goodson and Gray to just take those guys, or Bolden to take those guys out of the ball game.
There's Jackson. Ball on the floor taken away by Elias Harris and Dimitri Goodson. All speed in that guy. Here's Gray. Quick 3 from the wing is good. Gonzaga leads it 3-zip.
And that was out of transition. The guards always go to the wings. That would be Bolin and Gray. Meach comes right down the middle of the floor, makes the defense collapse, gets the ball to a shooter.
Jackson needing help. And here's Lewis. There's Brandon Johnson, number 1, driving on Stephen Gray. Jackson off the front of the rim. And Stephen Gray now with it for Gonzaga. Harris wide open. Big dunk. 5-zip Gonzaga.
San Diego runs the same break, obviously, that Gonzaga runs because Billy Greer and Mark Few came up with it. So they got to recognize the fact that Robert Zachary and Elias Harris, if they get down on that initial break, where are they going to go? Right to the rim. That's where you're going to find Elias Harris. Has a breakdown on Torero's defense.
Here's Lewis with Harris on him, and now Jackson. There's 10 on the shot clock. Bounce pass. Here's Jackson posting up on Goodson. San Diego's in the books. 5-2.
That was a nice job of reading the mismatch with Dimitri on a taller Jackson. Went right to the post. They got a shell on the outside and got the ball into Jackson.
Here's Harris working on Lewis. Little jump step into the middle. Can't get it to go, and rebound by Mafra. Elias Harris, 31 points, 13 rebounds on Thursday night in that win against St. Mary's. This is Dorr. This kid can really shoot it. You can see Matt Olden really out on him. Shooting nearly 50% from 3 is Matt Dorr. And here's Johnson. USD will try to take possessions deep into the shot clock as often as they can. Jackson again posting up on Goodson. 5 on the clock. Jackson over Goodson. Missed everything.
I like the way Meach plays defense, staying right behind Jackson, and then they're going to help. They're going to come from the high side to help down. But if Meach is right there with him and can contest the shot, then the Zags don't need to come down and double team.
And our first foul of the game. Called on Jackson for San Diego.
And you mentioned Dorr's a good three-point shooter. There are some good, Chris Lewis is a good three-point shooter. There are some perimeter, but remember, the Zags had to play the perimeter against St. Mary's on Thursday. They are a good three-point shooting team, so the defense didn't have to change that much coming in here to San Diego. They know they got to get on the perimeter and make those guys take tough shots.
Gray with a miss. John Jackson had to go out of the game there. He's replaced by Devin Ginty. Jackson with a bit of a bloody lip, so we'll get that stopped up and get him right back in here. Here's Lewis from 17. That shot's off. Zachary with the rebound. And again, Gonzaga looking to push.
And you like what you saw in that defensive rebound. 3 Zags had their hands on it.
Lewis with the rebound as Goodson was on the floor and actually caught a foot in the sternum. And it's San Diego basketball. So neither team opening the game shooting it well. San Diego 1 of 6, Gonzaga 2 of 7. Gonzaga's hit a 3 and then the dunk by Harris.
I like what I see in the fact that the Zags are going to full court press. That makes for an up-tempo type of a game. They have to make San Diego try to beat the press and keep the game going fast instead of coming in and setting up at half court.
San Diego would love this game to be in the 50s. They're number 1 in the West Coast Conference for points given up. They give up just 67 points. The lower the score, the better. Ginty having to work hard against Stephen Gray. And now Johnson into the paint. Left it for Ginty. They'll shoot it from 17 and hit it. 5-4 Gonzaga.
Well, Stephen was helping on Brandon Johnson. He turned his head and Ginty goes on the opposite side of him, and then he has to recover, and you do what you're not supposed to do, leave your feet.
And Goodson with a chance for 3. And the foul called on number 44, Roberto Mafra, the senior out of Brazil for San Diego. That's his first 2 on San Diego.
There's a couple of guys on San Diego's roster from Brazil, and remember they had a young coach that went to Nebraska when Billy Greer came that was a Brazilian, so that's their connection down there. And here comes the other one.
Yeah, Chris Manresa. He's a freshman. And Dimitri Goodson at the free throw line, just a 57% free throw shooter. 5'11", 164 pounds. And he converts the three-point play.
If you look at his stats, you would say, how's this guy even playing minutes? But sometimes stats don't always give you minutes on the floor. Sometimes it's the way you play, the hustle, the heart, the desire, the passion, and Meach has all of that.
Well, just watch how hard these point guards for San Diego has to work as Johnson's able to work his way into the rim, and he'll shoot free throws. And Harris picks up the personal foul. That's his first on Gonzaga. 15:54 to play first half in San Diego. Here at the Jenny Craig Pavilion in San Diego, West Coast Conference basketball action. Well, Craig, San Diego, we know what Johnson and Jackson can do as you look at those points that they've scored in the first 3 games, plus the first little over 4 minutes here. 100 points between those two players, 84 for the rest of the team. Who else can get it going offensively for them? Somebody has to.
Well, they got shooters in Matt Dorr and Chris Lewis, but I think there's no inside presence whatsoever for the Toreros. So I think if they want to really help these guys out and kind of balance out the scoring or help the Johnson and Jackson show, I think the inside game, I'm always been a proponent of going inside first and then outside. So right now, the 2 inside guys are below double figures scoring the basketball for the Toreros. So I think they got to establish some type of a presence.
Johnson with his first point of the game and then missed the second. He is an 82% free throw shooter. Bull Kong, number 34, in for Gonzaga. He had that rebound off that miss on the free throw. Here's Harris. You can't leave him open there. He will shoot that, and he will make it. Here's Bolden with Harris posting up, working on Lewis. Double team comes over. Harris just backs up and shoots it from 15 feet and draws the foul on Lewis.
Yeah, Chris Lewis, if you're going to defend Elias Harris, it looks like they were coming to double team Elias Harris. They're going to try to get the ball out of his hands so he won't hurt you down there. So when Elias steps back, if you're Chris Lewis, just keep your hand up. Don't bail the guy out. It's going to be a tough shot that Elias has to make. Now, Elias himself could get better at the free throw line. Only a 62% free throw shooter for the year.
That last foul on Lewis.
He's a 69%. I read that wrong, but so right around 70%. But he's a guy that's going to get fouled a lot and go to the free throw line a lot.
And he's 1 of 2. And Roberto Mafra checking back in. He came in for Lewis.
Replacing number 20, Elias Harris.
Yeah, Kelly Olynyk comes in too.
There's Johnson with Bolden on him. He found some space, shot off, no good. Kong tipped it. Olynyk grabbed it as it knocked away. Now Bull Kong with it for GU. Bolden near side. Sacre posting up. Olynyk looking to go high-low. And now we use the dribble. Nothing there. Here's Bull Kong now. Here's Sacre. Nice catch, little jump hook. Kong with the rebound. And he traveled with it. San Diego basketball. It wasn't great continuity on offense that position.
No, there was a lot of standing, and especially when Kelly got the ball. No one was really moving, and they were wanting something to happen, and it just never got into any type of a rhythm for the offense on that particular possession.
So Brandon Johnson now yet to score a field goal. Will work on Bolden.
This is the advantage of having Kelly Olynyk. When his man sets the screen, he's able to switch on the smaller players and guard them.
This is Manresa. Actually, that's Mafra. Lost it out of bounds. It stays with San Diego with 9 on the shot clock. 14:29 to play first half.
I think the Zags with this defensive team out there can cause a lot of problems. There's a lot of big bodies out there. Your 2 guards are 6'5".
Johnson to the baseline. Little step back over Gray. There you see his caliber of offense. That's a great shot. And that's his first field goal. Brandon Johnson now with 3 for San Diego. The triple team on Sacre. He got it out of there. And now Olynyk on the other post. Spins to the middle. Back to Gray. Deep three. That's way off. Sacre back to Olynyk. Lay in. Boy, that was slow in developing. Even off the rebound, it was slow in developing.
Yeah, it's like the Zags are wearing concrete shoes right now. They're not moving very agile out there, are they? It looks like they're having to work for everything, but that could be, Torero's defense causing problems for them.
Johnson spinning on Bolden. Olynyk with the help. Manresa reverse. Mafra with the two-handed finish.
That's going to happen when you got three guys coming over to block one shot. Someone's going to be open for the offensive rebound because Robert left Mafra, and that's why it was easy for him to get that cleanup basket.
And the foul called here on Devin Ginty, number 3. And that's the 4th team foul now on San Diego as Elias Harris checks back in for Robert Sacre.
Yeah, you saw in that replay that Kong was trying to get down there and take Robert's man because Robert came over to block the shot and he didn't get the shot, so Bo was just a little bit slow getting down there trying to block off Matre for that follow-up.
So Gonzaga now on offense, leading it by 2. This is Bolden working with the left hand, almost lost the dribble, had to pick it up.
He's got his 70 socks on, doesn't he?
He does. Harris driving, missed it. So everything was falling Thursday night. That one doesn't go here Saturday night in San Diego. Kong tipped it away from Jackson. Jackson got it back. His door in the corner.
He won't force shots. He's got to be wide open, Matt Door. That is, if he's wide open, he'll knock it down 50% of the time. But if he's got somebody on him, he's going to pass the ball.
Manresa. Oh, he gets the roll. The freshman ties the game for San Diego. We're tied at 11. Olynyk right back at the other end has it taken away. Door with it for the Toreros.
Kelly's got to slow down. When he catches the ball, he was way too fast on his move. That's why he turned the ball over.
There's Door on the baseline. Back to Mafra. And now Harris. D's up there. They get it back to Johnson to reset the offense. Fans starting to get into this game now at the Slim Jim. Jackson step back on Kong. Manresa with the rebound. New clock. That's exactly how Bill Greer likes to draw it up.
Yeah, he's going to take that time, though. The Zags all watch the rebound instead of going and blocking someone out. The long shot makes what? Long rebound. So you got to go out and get some bodies on people.
Manresa left it short. But they got deep into 2 shot clocks on that possession, which plays into the hands of San Diego. Stephen Gray traveled.
That was the old pull the chair out from under you.
Sure was.
Yep.
Tied at 11 in San Diego, 11:31 to play first half. Brandon Johnson, the little step back on Stephen Gray. We are tied. We'll be back.
Winning that tournament got Billy's team in. Actually, that was the first year that we WCC had 3 teams in it. St. Mary's was also in the NCAA tournament that year, along with Gonzaga and San Diego.
Probably not this year.
Although they are the best in the West right now. They have a higher percentage than the Pac-10, the WAC, and the Mountain West.
Yeah, but
playing BCS conferences. That's the WCC.
I think if Gonzaga wins the automatic berth, they'll be the only team that gets in. St. Mary's doesn't have enough. They don't have that big win.
No, and their strength of schedule is like out of 110 teams is 105.
Yeah, so I just don't think that they're going to be good enough to get in unless they win the conference title or the tournament.
Tournament's the automatic bid. The regular season just gets you that #1 seed.
So the turnover there by USD, so it's Gonzaga basketball. Matt Bolden 0 for 1. You have to score a point.
And Leach playing with the crowd. He got up on his toes. There's no way he walked.
And Goodson on the baseline. Great feed from Bolden. And Goodson gives Gonzaga the 2-point lead. To John Jackson, number 23 with it. Now Door. This is number 32, Ken Rancifer, a freshman out of Oakland, with the ball now. And Manny Arop in the game for GU, number 1.
Zag defense doing great. Look at this, Greg. They pushed San Diego, they haven't gotten anything on the inside yet.
4 on the shot clock. Jackson will have to heave it. Does for 3. Long, and San Diego with the rebound.
Well, San Diego not a great shooting team, so there's going to be a lot of offensive rebounds. Zags just got, and they're one of the best defensive rebounding teams. They're limiting teams to only one shot. Right now, San Diego's having their way.
Jackson right to the rim, and he's fouled and a chance for 3. And it's Rob Sacre who just picked up his second personal.
First personal.
Well, Jackson just missed a jumper.
I'm sorry, Craig, but first personal on Sacre.
First on Robert, but you know, Jackson just missed that long jumper. Of course, the shot clock was running down. And if you miss a couple of jumpers, what's the rule of thumb? Usually you want to attack the rim and get yourself to the rim, and that's exactly what he did. He didn't settle for an outside jumper.
San Diego now 1 for 3 from the free throw line. Loose ball. Dorr with it. Goodson runs him down. Dorr can't score. Sacre with the rebound.
Great transition defense by Dimitri getting back, and Dorr just not under control and didn't know where he was after Meach ran right by him.
Sacre low post. Lewis there knocked it away out of bounds. Should go to Gonzaga, and it will.
Yeah.
Johnson and Mopper checking back in for USD.
Correct me if I'm wrong on this, Greg.
I will.
Now, Robert, in those first 3 or 4 games against Michigan State, and those teams was playing unbelievable. He just took it right at it. He's playing against a less talented kid right now. Didn't even try to make a move there, just kind of half-heartedly tried to get that shot off. I think he's got to revert back to what he did the first part of the season and just be totally aggressive and use that big body of his.
There's Matt Bolden. Goodson into the paint, hopping around, lost the handle out of bounds, and it goes to USD. Meach trying to do too much there.
Yeah, and anytime you start pounding the basketball, you've got to realize if I'm pounding it this much and this long, then I need to do something else. I need to get it out of my hands, cut to the basket, and see if I can get something going that way. If you're just dribbling around, that's a good sign that you need to get rid of it.
Jackson now on Ropp. Drives to Dorr. Dorr not even looking to shoot. He's got enough size to shoot over people. No wonder his percentage is so high.
Well, he's also like a Steve Kerr type of guy. He's not going to take a bad shot.
Johnson step back on Bolden. And a flush by Rancifer on the follow. And San Diego with a 15-13 lead.
That's their first lead of the game.
Matt Bolden to the baseline. Knocked away by Johnson. The official in the way. Still in the way. Johnson now into the front court. Dorr. He'll shoot the 3. That was on but long. And back comes Goodson. There's Sacre. Mafra. And he scores.
That was a lot better move on Robert. He caught the ball a little deeper in the paint that time, so a little more comfortable using that big body of his and strength.
Tied at 15 again. Well, not at 15 again, but tied again. This time at 15. Johnson by Bolden. And he'll shoot free throws. Brandon Johnson starting to heat up a bit now for San Diego, trying to get a little more aggressive on offense. 7:49 to play first half. Ken Rassifer with the flush. We're tied at 15.
Obviously been, the experience of a lifetime, just starting, going to a normal football camp in Philadelphia, being pulled aside, being told I've been put into a reality show. Deep down in my mind, I'm not going to kid anybody. I mean, I was thinking how unbelievable an experience it could be playing in a U.S. Army All-American game, something that I've watched on NBC for years. This has been unbelievable, but now it's time to get to work and really make the most of that opportunity.
The stage is set for a big-time showdown in the ACC. National power Duke battles the unstoppable Al Farouk Aminu and Wake Forest. ACC Sunday Night Hoops this week, presented by Pizza Hut.
Get freezing for a reason at the Special Olympics of Washington 2010 Polar Plunge. It all goes down January 24th at Alki Beach in Seattle. Make a splash in the lives of local athletes. For more information, head to SOA.org today. Soccer, sportsmanship, and everything in between. It's Casey's Last Line.
And welcome back to San Diego. We are tied at 15 between Gonzaga and the Toreros. Global Credit Union sending a lucky fan to the WCC tourney in Vegas. And the Global Credit Union follow the Zags promotion. Trip for two includes game tickets, airfare, and hotel to see the 2010 WCC men's and women's basketball tournament. Enter at any Global Credit Union branch today.
That'd be a fun trip. Last year, I think the first time that they hosted it, set all kinds of attendance records.
Yeah.
So I think, and you're off of the main strip. I mean, Las Vegas is still there, but you know you're way off of it. So it's good for the family that way, I guess.
Johnson now with 4 points, 2 of 3 from the line. And again, misses the second, but Rancifer. And now Johnson, 3-ball long. Rancifer with another offensive rebound. That's 3 here in the last 2 possessions for Ken Rancifer. And now Jackson driving left hand is good. And San Diego with a 3-point lead now at 18-15.
Well, they just broke the Zags back on that particular possession. Rancifer getting what? 2 extra shots for the Toreros. You give them that kind of percentages, they're going to make one of those shots.
Harris at the other end. The quick bucket for Gonzaga. And it's a 1-point game.
And if you give the guy the number 20 the ball right there, he's going to make a lot of those shots.
Now with 5 points on 2 of 4 shooting.
The Zags are a much better defensive rebounding team than they're showing right now. 7 offensive boards for the Toreros. That's why they have a 1-point lead, is because they're getting some extra shots.
Jackson was 6 on the shot clock. This is Rancifer driving baseline. Harris with the defense. Mafra didn't know where the clock was.
Shot clock violation.
And it's Gonzaga basketball because of the shot clock violation.
But right now, with an 18-17 score with 6 minutes left, I mean, this definitely favors the Toreros if they can keep the score this low and keep their defensive pressure on the Zags, because right now they're giving the Zags all kinds of trouble on the Zags offensive end.
Well, it's the 7 offensive rebounds that it's enabled that to do it, because it allows San Diego then to go deep in the clock twice per possession. Dimitri Goodson lines up the 3 and buries it from the wing. Goodson just 1 of 15 this year from 3.
Before that shot,
yes.
Now he's 2 of 16.
Now that could help his confidence a lot. And Gonzaga back out on top by a point at 19-18.
That was a 3-ball, though, by Meach.
It was.
So it should be 20, right?
Evidently, it was just a 2.
Oh, he was way behind. They're gonna look at it.
Yeah, they are going to look at it.
Yeah, he was way behind.
Sure looked like a 3 to me.
Come on, Chauncey, show him that it's a 3-ball.
We're going to take a look at the film here. Actually, the video. Did I just say film?
Film?
Well, you can't tell from that angle, but
I could.
Well, he's way out there, you can tell, but you can't tell definitively that he's behind the line.
He was behind the line. There's 2 lines out there. The old college 3, which is now the women's in the women's game. And the men's backed it up a little bit from the old one, but no, he was.
Oh, Meach just wants this for the average.
Yeah.
The percentage.
Look at that. Step back, shoot it.
Oh, that's
a 3-ball.
Not even close.
20-19, 20-18 Zags. Nice job by the officials.
Yeah, to get it right.
Get it right.
So it's 20-18 Gonzaga.
If you're going to use the replay, get it right.
And Goodson now 2 of 16 from behind 3. And the percentage is climbing.
One shot at a time, Greg. One shot at a time.
Johnson, deflection by Goodson. Right to Moffra, though, who then drives to the lane, left that short. And again, close to another shot clock violation. And now Gray on the run out for GU.
Poor Moffra. He's caught the ball like 3 times with the shot clock down to 1.
Drop to the wing. There's Sacre. And watch the double team come. Again, Goodson for 3. That one's off. Harris with the rebound. Fights his way in. And he's got 2 free throws coming.
Personal foul.
Foul called on number 32, Ken Ransford.
Elias Harris on the season, Greg, has 38 offensive boards. The next closest guy is Robert Sacre at 24. So Elias Harris, if I'm guarding him, if I'm wearing a Torero uniform, when the shot goes up, I don't leave him. I stay right by him and block him out because he is so slippery down there. He gets his hands on a lot of extra shots for the Zags, and then he's right there at the, underneath the basket, and he puts them right back in.
Number 31, Rafael Crescencio checking in for San Diego. Ransford to the bench.
Ransford had good minutes for the Toreros. 3 offensive rebounds, 1 put back for a dunk. Active for a freshman.
Harris drops it in. Now 3 of 4 from the line, 7 points for Elias Harris. 5:15 to play, 22-18. It's exactly where San Diego wants it. Knocked away. This is Goodson. Left it. Harris can't hit it. Elias looking for the foul. No whistle. And Devin Ginty hands off to DeJohn Jackson.
How about the spin he had on that ball? Hit the rim and just took off to the right side after he shot it on the left side.
Crescencio driving. And the offensive foul called. Matt Bolden there to take it.
Raphael should have slowed down. He should have gotten to the point where the defense was and gone straight up with his size. Instead, he chose to go right in and get the charge called.
And number 20, Matt Dorr checking back in. Doing research for this game, the one thing I found interesting about Matt Dorr, he has started 6 games. He's only taken 4 free throws.
He's definitely a perimeter shooter. He's not a guy that's going to put it on the floor and get fouled going to the rim. That's the only way you basically get to the free throw line.
But he's not even getting fouled shooting threes, Chris.
No, I mean, no one does out there.
But once in a while you get fouled if you're taking enough threes. Gonzaga on a 9-0 run. I mean, somebody's going to come out there if you're taking contested shots ever. You're bound to get one now and again. He's taken 4 free throws in 16 games. He averages 1 every 4 games played.
Imagine where you stand when you're out there on the what is that, 23 feet? Okay.
Yeah, it's a little closer than that, but back in your day.
Well, that's the NBA, yeah.
Right.
So, okay. But anyway, he's standing at least a foot behind the college three-pointer. That's a long run out because he's usually taking shots on the offside where the ball's getting swung.
Yeah.
So the defense is all in the help side, in the paint. So when he catches the ball and you run at him, he's already released the shot before you get out there as a defender.
I just don't know if I've seen a stat like that.
Now, they complained about
someone who has started 16 games taking 4 free throws.
Well, they complained about Klay Thompson last year from WSU not taking a lot of free throws because he was just a perimeter shooter.
But 4,
that's a low ball, yeah.
5 on the shot clock. Here's Johnson. No, fake driving Manresa, but I think he's bailed out by Bol Kong. He is foul called on Bol.
Oh, they gave him a little continuation going to the rim. I thought Bol got him out on the floor.
24-18 our score in San Diego. 3:42 to play first half.
Oh, and we've gone to some beautiful ones. Pepperdine, obviously, in Malibu, but this one with the view of the ocean from here. And today we come to shoot around, and there's a high school, looks like or some type of a Legion game going on down below us. Is the baseball field. And I'm thinking to myself, it's January, and they're playing baseball in January. Why not? It's 70 degrees, sunshine, and the grass is green.
So Chris Manresa at the line and doesn't get the bounce. That bounced so many times it may have loosened the screws up on the rim.
Had what? Maybe touched the rim 5 times?
That one was in and out. So San Diego, one of the best free throw shooting teams in the West Coast Conference. Now 2 of 7 from the line.
As a team, 75%, just below St. Mary's at 77% for the conference. And guess who's at the bottom?
I know who's at the bottom.
Gonzaga, 66% free throw shooting team.
Harris knifing through the middle in the finish. And that's with 2 players on the team shooting over 80% for Gonzaga at the free throw line. But they average at 68 for a team. San Diego now just needs something on offense, and there's the turnover.
That was not a good look by Patrick McCollum. He just got to get a better angle to feed the post.
From the elbow, Gray drops it in. Gonzaga on an 11-0 run, and they've opened up a 10-point lead at 28-18.
Well, we talked with Coach Billy Greer at shoot-around today with the Toreros, right? And he said, boy, we have spurts where we play very well, and then we have spurts where what? We go south, we go dry, we go into a drought. And right now, they're in a drought. And he has no really options to get them out of there. You know how Gonzaga can go to Elias Harris in a post-up situation. Or they can go to a post-up with Matt Bolden to get an easy basket for themselves. Right now, San Diego doesn't have that option.
There you see the AP rankings, still 2 undefeated teams in the country, Texas and Kentucky. Kentucky may not lose a game all year. And Gonzaga now at number 17 and climbing at 13-3.
No,
Tennessee's the amazing team to me.
Yeah.
Lose what they've lost, and yet a couple of big wins this week.
Yeah, I saw that that game where they beat Kansas when all that happened and Tyler Smith was suspended. And Bruce Pearl's son was playing, a walk-on that had actual time on the floor against Kansas and won. But no, Kentucky can't go undefeated. That Southeastern Conference is too tough.
Oh, but you've seen Kentucky play, Craig.
There's Mississippi
I understand
State,
it's the SEC. I understand.
Florida.
McCollum inside. Left it short. Sacre with a tough rebound. Patrick McCollum, number 5, a freshman out of Tacoma. And there's Jackson kicking the ball.
Yeah, the last 2 possessions, Zags putting their defensive presence felt on the Toreros. They had a turnover, and then that was a tough shot, a contested shot with only 1 opportunity at it after Robert grabs the rebound. So they're influxing some of their muscle on the Toreros.
And Roberto Mafra back in for San Diego. The Toreros in desperate need of some points as Harris drives again. Left it to Gray, and now a whistle. 3-second violation. Somebody in the lane too long.
Yeah, Robert had set up camp. He had built the fire and everything in there, trying to get the basketball.
I think
no one was throwing the ball.
The saying is pitching a tent, right?
Pitch a tent, build a fire, start cooking your.
But generally,
your
you pitch the tent, then build a fire.
I'm cold. I want to pitch. Well, I guess you pitch the tent.
You have kind of turned in wimpy as you've gotten older.
Yeah. But no, I mean, that's not Robert's fault. He had the position. They had the floor spread and spaced. Give him the basketball. Don't make him stand there and keep calling for it.
12 on the shot clock. Jackson drives on Bolden. That's the 3rd block of the game by Sacre.
He's having a tough time getting up after that when he was so high. He got a little dizzy when he came down.
And 10 on the shot clock now for USD.
Just great offside help, quick help coming over to give Matt Bolden. And you want to be a good defensive team. You want to be a good help side defensive team, and the Zags work on that as well as anybody. They sprint over to help and run back to their man if they don't have to give it.
There's Johnson, 2 on the clock, scoop shot. Manfra with the rebound and the putback. And that ends the 11-0 run by Gonzaga. And Harris driving, spinning. Blocked by Monfra. Count the bucket. Boy, that's an NBA move there, though, isn't it, Craig?
Oh, no.
That
Man.
spin like that, that's all NBA.
Defender comes up, goes for the reach, and what do? You counter it with a spin move away from the defender. And get yourself closer to the rim. That's why Elias Harris has been turned into the scorer that he is.
And now into double figures with 11 points, 2 rebounds. And it's a 10-point Gonzaga lead with 1:15 to play first half. Here's Moffra. Sacre is there. Back to Johnson. 12 on the clock shot clock, and under a minute to play. Left it for Moffra and the flush. A little two-man game there between Johnson and Moffra. No one else touched it on that possession. And 52.6 to play. And it's an 8-point game.
Sometimes you just got to let, if you're Zag's defense on Brandon Johnson, he's dribbling that much. Don't come over and help. I mean, he didn't have any type of a shot to get off. If you help, though, you give him a little outlet to get someone the basketball.
Bolden for 3. And he bangs that through. His first field goal of the first half. He's got 3 points.
Yeah, Matt has not had
play for 1.
a lot of opportunities to get the ball. It's been going inside. And
well, he's just one of these players that understands the flow of the game and doesn't shoot until he has to. Until they need him. He does all the other things so well.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you. I think his floor presence out there is just wonderful.
And Jackson connects with 2 seconds to play. And that'll be the end of the first half. And Gonzaga plays to a 9-point lead on USD at the Jenny Craig Pavilion. And they outscored USD 18-5 in the final 7.5 minutes. USD played really good those first 12-13 minutes. They were right there.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's why I said about Billy Greer said, you know, his team goes into droughts. And they had a bad drought right there where Gonzaga built that lead up to where it's at now.
Halftime, straight ahead, 33-24 the score. Back time now to go inside the numbers, brought to you by Coeur d'Alene Casino. Winning is just the beginning at the Coeur d'Alene Casino. And the numbers are, frankly, this hasn't been the most beautifully played basketball game. But the numbers obviously will favor Gonzaga.
Yeah, and actually 13 of 23 for 56% isn't bad. That means that they're high percentage shots that they're taking. And then they're also on the defensive end made San Diego take some tough shots at 11 for 30. They haven't done anything spectacular, San Diego, although they've scrapped. That's the main thing that they've done to stay in this ball game or be only 9 points down.
And the 7 turnovers, Gonzaga won't be happy with that. But we've got another half to play, and we've got a competitive game. San Diego certainly still in this with it being so low scoring. 33-24 our score, second half when we come back. And welcome back. We're about ready to get the second half started here in San Diego between Gonzaga and the San Diego Toreros. Greg Heisker and Craig Elo. All right, some quick thoughts here, Craig, before we open up the second half. Look at the leading scorers.
I told you the key to the game is the mouse in the house, Elias Harris. I don't think they got somebody on the other end, the Toreros that is, that can guard Elias. So I would come out and start posting him up one play after another play. But I also would go to get Matt Bolden online also. They run a little chin play that they call where they kind of trick you into thinking they're going to stay on the perimeter. Matt cuts through and then stops and then post up. I think they need to get him a few more looks. He's only had taken 2 shots in this ball game.
Explain the mouse in the house concept to me.
There is a mouse in the house would be that Elias is being guarded by Chris Lewis. Okay. And you know how a mouse runs free in the house?
Okay.
Okay, that's it. I think because Lewis can't guard him, he's running free.
Okay.
In the paint or in the house. Okay.
I understand. I just think when you say mouse, I'm thinking, well, little guy.
Oh, little guy.
Harris isn't so little.
No. Well, you can also flip it that way. You can say that. Okay. Yeah.
I just wanted to.
The guy that's guarding Harris is the mouse then, and he's the little guy, and he has no chance.
So Harris is the cat?
The way he plays, definitely. He's cat quick.
All right, back to action. Heroisms. I gotta live for him. Here's Bolden with it far side, watched by DeJohn Jackson.
You know, and we give Jackson credit too on Bolden. I mean, he's been guarding Bolden the whole time.
There's Sacre inside, jump hook no good. Kept alive by Harris, got the rebound back, and he'll shoot 2 free throws. That was a heck of a rebound there by Harris. He beat 2 Toreros to that.
He's got a really good knack of getting to the basketball. And you know what? His hands are up, so he's not pushing, right? And he's strong enough where he gets in there, no one's going to knock him off balance.
That foul called on Jackson. That is 3 on DeJohn Jackson. So that's a big foul on San Diego. Jackson, their second leading scorer, and he is the leading scorer in this game for USD. Harris makes it a 10-point game. Well, I have to correct myself. Just 2 fouls on Jackson. And there's a foul on Goodson.
You know, in the first half, we didn't mention it, but it was a pretty clean game. No team was in bonus. The only time you got to the foul line was if you were aggressive, taking the ball to the rim and got fouled in the act of shooting. I think San Diego only had 16 fouls and Gonzaga only 5 in the first half.
Just cleaning up some moisture now at the far end of the court. There's a good look at Bill Greer.
Proud daddy of 2.
Yeah, we just saw his wife
little
Nicole
babies,
walk through with a
Nicole
little
walk through. Giselle the first one and Ashley the second.
All right, Jackson sets up the offense for USD. There's Johnson. Almost taken away by Bolden. Dorr able to handle that pass. USD not doing much with the ball here on offense. And now Jackson resets. Spins into the paint. Mafra just inside 3 and buries the jump shot. It's not pretty, but it went in. 8-point game. And now Harris at the other end. That's long. Jackson with a long rebound for USD. Gray back defensively. Jackson missed it. Tipped around out of bounds, and it's Gonzaga basketball.
You know, the one thing you want to do is always sprint back on defense, because look at this. Meach beats everybody back as they're walking back.
And Gray buries a 3 in transition. It's not too often you see a team get beat back on an inbound.
Well, they're walking back. You got to sprint
on an inbound
back.
now.
I know, on an inbound. It doesn't matter if it's inbounds or after a basket. Sprint back on defense. That's the one thing a coach will ask you to do.
Mafra again, the jump shot on the way. That one's short. Harris with the rebound, and now Goodson with it for Gonzaga.
They got numbers again because Mafra reached for it on the other end.
Sacre fighting his way to the free throw line. And Rob, with just 2 points thus far, will shoot his first free throws of the game.
Number 0, Robert Sacre.
Robert struggling from the free throw line since the start of the season. He was very good at the first part of the season.
Oh, that one looked good.
He's got a good routine. He's got, you know, the dribbles, then the hands get ready. And it's all kind of a good motion. He bends his knees.
1 of 2.
He just can't hit the rim. That's gotta go swish.
Look at Goodson just hounding Jackson. He does not make it easy for anyone.
Well, have you seen the Toreros even get into the lane? I think Jackson and Johnson are the only guys that have been able to penetrate the Zags defense.
Lewis, who just had the ball, a starter for USD, yet to score a point. Johnson into the lane, missed the shot. Now Goodson. Look at this guy motor. In fact, his teammates can't stay up with him. He outran the offense. Stephen Gray again from 3. It's 2 in a row. Timeout. USD.
That's the one thing about pushing the basketball. If you can push it up, you put a lot of pressure on the defense because now they're trying to stop you from getting to the rim. And what does that do? It leaves shooters like Stephen Gray out there, and Meach finds him and drains another one for the Zags.
Goodson with the motor, and then he found the open shooter. Stephen Gray, 41-26. 41-26 our score. Well, San Diego not shooting it well from behind the arc tonight. They're 0 for 6. Gonzaga 5 of 7. And we all know what that young man used to do at Gonzaga. Now an assistant coach at Gonzaga, or at San Diego, Kyle Bankhead.
The way Bankhead switches them, and he's got to be teaching these young guys how to shoot. Right now, the Toreros 0 for 6 from three-point land. They need to start listening to that guy a little bit more in practice and see how he's getting those shots to fall.
A former walk-on that ended up starting for a 5th-ranked team in the nation, Kyle Bankhead.
From Walla Walla.
He was self-made and just one of the great all-around players in the history of Gonzaga basketball.
He's going to be a fine coach at some point.
Well, he is now, right?
No, he's an assistant.
You
I'm
mean
the
a head coach?
yeah.
Okay, all right.
Bad pass.
And Bolden with it now for GU. And here's Goodson. Stephen Gray driving, missed it.
Guess who got his hands?
Basketball.
Guess who got his hands on that?
Who?
Oh, Liz Harris.
Okay.
The player of the year.
I thought you meant someone that none of us saw.
Oh. No, I'm just saying if the Zags miss a shot, there's usually going to be a Harris sighting near the ball.
By the way, you said at halftime that Elias Harris is the player of the year in the West Coast Conference. There's a foul call there on Stephen Gray.
I know, there's never been a freshman.
Never been a freshman to win the award.
There's always a first. And there's never been an assistant coach to win.
That's true.
Coach
and
of the
that
year.
won't happen. that, my friend, will never, ever happen.
But if you ask Mark Few how many times he's won the Coach of the Year in the WCC, he'll tell you
wow, what a play
that
by
you're
Jackson.
as only good as, like you know, your wife says that you're as only good as husband as your wife is, right? Makes you. Makes you. So he'll tell you that his coaches are just as good as he is. He passes credit where credit is due.
Okay, that I understood. Johnson between the legs into the paint, left it, and another block by Robert Sacre. And Big Rob, I believe, unofficially, that's his 4th of the game.
Big Rob has been great on the offside help when the Toreros do get into the paint. He's been able to get over there and block shots. And when you start erasing them like that, they're going to start calling you the human eraser.
Yeah, Johnson missing inside. Here's Goodson.
Whoops.
Dribbled it off his foot. Right to Dorr. Now Jackson with it for USD. Jackson trying to get around Goodson. Harris there on the backside. But what a bucket by Jackson. He scored anyway. He's in the double figures, 10 points. Goodson back at the other end. And he hits it off the glass.
Well, Jackson is guarding Dimitri. So when he fell down on that end, Dimitri took total advantage of the Toreros not picking him up.
Johnson, baseline. Kick it out to Lewis. Here's Dorr in the corner for 3. That's his game.
That time just couldn't quite, the defense couldn't rotate on him. Johnson broke down the defense getting into the lane. Ball came out and the extra pass got Dorr's favorite shot over there in the corner.
Goodson left open. Sacre lost the rebound, and Johnson now with it. He's taken on the whole GU team himself, and he scored. Foul called on Matt Bolden. Well, Johnson did not wait for his teammates at all. Here's Jackson off the glass. There's Goodson off the glass. The banks are open. Gonzaga leads by 10.
Take flight.
And fans, get your copy of Gonzaga's Decade of Excellence DVD, packed full of highlights, interviews, and the memories that have made Gonzaga's Decade of Excellence. Order online at gozags.com or call 877-281-4377.
I got a kick out of the guy that came up to you before the game and said, a GU fan, obviously, here in San Diego, said, I said, we really enjoyed that Decade of Excellence. He goes, you might have a career in that. I was like, dude, have you not seen Seasons on a Fly? Have you not seen the other stuff that he does?
Did you really say dude?
Dude, I did.
Yeah.
I'm down here in California.
That's true. You're the type of guy that just likes to fit in.
No, the Zags have to be careful now. They've got it back to 9.
Yeah, Johnson with that three-point play. And now a whistle inside, a foul on Dorr, who bumped Harris as Harris is catching that pass. That's the first on Dorr, and 3 now on San Diego this half.
I was surprised to see Dorr have to get down there and guard Harris, but they were in a 1-2-2 zone coming up, trying to take the ball. Whoa. That usually doesn't make a bad decision, and that was not a very good decision to get the ball in.
And he and Johnson end up on the floor. And the blocking foul called on Brandon Johnson.
And as Matt fell, he puts his hand to the floor. Let's see. A little fall down, and then he's
That may have been a good no call. That may have been a good no call, Craig. Just looked like
both guys
Johnson
were falling,
fell down and Bolden tripped over him.
Yep.
So Johnson picks up his first personal. That's 4 now on San Diego. And we're ready to play. Stephen Gray baseline short. Jackson with the rebound. Goodson knocked to the floor. Here's Johnson with it. Driving on Goodson. And Johnson will shoot free throws. Blocking foul called on Goodson.
What happened was underneath Johnson, and it looked like Dorr crossed. And when they crossed, Dimitri kind of got knocked down. But how quickly did he get up to recover and get back out there? But Johnson saw that he was running out at him and then went right at him, at Dimitri. So nice play by Brandon Johnson, realizing that Dimitri was off balance and took him right to the rim.
Eight-point game. San Diego hanging around with 14:19 to play. Johnson now with 9 points. San Diego has scored the last 8 points in this game.
That's all Johnson.
Here's Olenek inside. Great pass from Matt Bolden, and now Olenek will shoot free throws. Foul called on Roberto Malfra. That's 3 on him, 5 now on San Diego.
And that's what the Zags do so well, is that once they get into their offense, they make sure that it gets thrown inside, try to collapse the defense. A lot of teams will just stay on the perimeter, and I think San Diego has stayed on the perimeter a lot this tonight in this ball game in particular.
Olenek hits them both. And it's back to 9. Johnson, short. Harris was out rebounded there by Rancifer.
Hey, what? That's Rancifer's like 3rd offensive board. 4th,
he went right over the back of Harris that time.
Well, 2 freshmen going at each other.
Gray faked the shot, drive to the rim. There's a great bucket by Stephen Gray.
Now, you don't want to just be known as a jump shooter. You want to be able to put the ball on the floor and get to the rim, and Stephen's showing some of that tonight.
Johnson to the baseline. Mafra with the lay-in. Brandon Johnson now really getting it going for USD. Both scoring and setting up his teammates. Bull Kong with a three at the other end. And now the offense starting to go for both teams. 10-point game.
Yeah, and if you're a Bull Kong fan, this kid is shooting over 55% from three ball. I think he just made his 16th of the season out of 28 shots. So, you know, high percentage shot for one guy is down low, close to the basket. High percentage shot for Bull Kong is out around 22 feet.
Johnson. Door open three. In and out. Olynyk with the rebound, and now he's fouled by Door. That's number 2 on Door and 6 on San Diego. Rob Sacre checking back in. So is number 34 Chris Manresa for San Diego.
Well, it seems like every time the Toreros make a cut into the Zags league, the Zags always have a big shot. Bull's shot was big. Stephen Gray's basket big.
Gonzaga really shooting the three well. They're 6 of 9, 6.7%. Bolden, shake and bake, shot short. Jackson the rebound for San Diego. So John Jackson kind of quiet here in the second half. That's just 10, I believe.
He had 8 at half.
8 at half. Here's Rancifer. Jackson off the pass. Dead on but short. Matt Bolden with it. Stephen Gray running hard, and the lay-in. Bolden and Gray made eye contact just this side of midcourt, and you could really see that play develop from where we're sitting.
Yeah, the defense was running back. They had no idea that Stephen was coming up on the right side. Bolden saw him, like you said, and then made contact. And tell you what, that's what years and years of playing with each other do for you. You know what the other guy's going to do, and I think Stephen knew that he would get the ball if he ran hard from Matt Bolden.
Johnson inside, and a chance for three. For Brandon Johnson, now with 11 points. We've got a 10-point game, but San Diego with a chance to get it back to single digits. Matt Bolden, no look, Stephen Gray. 52-42 our score. Well, Gonzaga having a hard time putting San Diego away, and it's because Brandon Johnson's really getting things going here in the second half. Stephen Gray, he's following up what he did Thursday night, 14 points, 14 rebounds with another nice effort, Craig.
Yeah, he just knows where to be on the floor when certain guys have the ball, and Dimitri Goodson filling it there. Stephen came out and popped 3 quick ones in the second half. And I tell you what, he deserves to be out there on the floor. He's been out there, let's see, just 23 minutes. So he's been able to get a rest, but I tell you, he's averaging almost 31 minutes a game, so he's out there quite a bit for the Zags.
Johnson missing that free throw, so it remains a 10-point game.
He's struggling at the line tonight.
Yeah, he's an 82% shooter. Here's Bolden. Olynyk the rebound, missed it. Sacre kept it alive, and it's USD basketball. Kelly
just mistimed it a little bit on his follow-up, and looked like he was going to throw it down with a nice tip dunk, but I think because he took off a little outside the lane, he was in between and didn't get that ball to fall for him.
Rolled right off the front of the rim.
But he still gets a grade A for going after the offensive board.
Yes. Okay. Johnson and Gray.
It would have been an A+.
Quite a tandem here to watch. Sacre clearing the Johnson miss.
Boy, the Zags do a really nice job of blocking out, don't they? Putting bodies on them, but they work on that. That's drilled into their brains at practice.
Blocking foul called on Lewis. Chris Lewis picks up the block. He doesn't like the call.
Chris Lewis.
He inched over there, didn't he?
Sure looked like it.
Yeah, I mean, if he would have stayed still, but he just scooted that right foot over just a little bit to get in front of Bolden.
Matt Bolden just 3 points thus far. And this is the free throw. 3 points, but he's taken just 4 shots, Craig. 3 rebounds, 3 assists.
Hey, but he's having a terrific year.
Off the charts.
Off the charts. And one game is not going to determine what Matt Bolden does. You know.
I think he's everything that's advertised.
Shoot, he's averaging almost 16 points, almost.
Look at the defense by the Zags. Zachary and Gray out there. That was over and back.
Yep, ball can't go over.
Brandon Johnson just touched the official. Just grabbed the official. And he does again. Brandon claiming that Stephen Gray hit the basketball. But Johnson's got to be careful. He grabbed the official like that. Did you see that?
Yeah. Yeah, it's not, you're not supposed to make contact with him at all.
The official could have rung him up. 11-point game. There's Stephen Gray, watched by Ginty. And now Harris with Lewis there. Harris backs down, turn around in the paint, no good. Lewis with the rebound, USD. And here comes Johnson. Ginty thought about the 3, and then Bull Kong at 6'8" jumped out at him.
That'll make you think twice.
Yeah, they'll put the fear of God in you. 15 on the shot clock. Here's Johnson. Into the paint. And he'll shoot a free throw or 2. Foul called on Stephen Gray. That's 2 on Stephen, 6 on Gonzaga. San Diego has 7 fouls, so GU now into the bonus with 9:37 to play. Brandon Johnson, 11 points, Craig, but that coming on just 3 of 11 shooting.
He has been aggressive going to the rim and getting to the free throw line where he is what now 6 of 9.
And DeJohn Jackson checking back in as Dorr goes to the bench. Jackson 10 points on 5 of 12 shooting. So both Jackson and Johnson leading San Diego like they always do, but neither one of them really shooting it well.
No, but you need to manufacture points in another way, and they have done that, or at least Johnson has, about getting to the free throw line where he's 7 of 10 now.
Here's Bolden moving to the near side. Saw Zachary a little too late. Had to throw it up too. Ginty, the smallest player on the floor, able to get that pass for Bolden. Johnson, offensive foul called on Johnson.
Getting a little bit out of control. Brandon, I think, looking to draw the foul instead of just making a basketball play. I think he was trying to jump into Stephen Gray. He's having a tough time scoring tonight, so the only way he's scoring is getting to the free throw line. And he leans right into Stephen Gray on that one.
Stephen was moving.
He was moving, but I mean, the whole body contact from Brandon Johnson, actually, it should have been a no call, like you said a while ago, on the one. Because, he just jumped right into Stephen there.
Well, it's an 11-point game. Craig and I will continue to debate these calls over dinner tonight. Zachary. Moffra there defensively. The kick out, now to Gray. And it's taken away by USD. Johnson. Moffra jump shot, short. Zachary clears it, Gonzaga. Well, this game hasn't been real crisp at times, Craig. I think that's San Diego's style, though, coming through. Another loose ball. Gray and Ginty fighting for it.
Is Steven pumped up?
I guess he is.
Oh, yeah, I like that. When you get on the floor, get dirty.
Stephen Gray wanting the foul.
He was a little upset about how Ginty jumped on him after the ball. Let's see, both of them dive at the same time.
Well,
Steven comes up with it.
Lucky that somebody didn't tear his shoulder out on that play.
There's a few fists going in there, too. You like both teams to be a little feisty, though, don't you?
Well, you can never say that Stephen Gray doesn't value every possession.
There you go. Because he went after that ball. It looked like Ginty had the jump on him, but Steven comes from the blind side of him and just gets to it first. So the possession was jump ball. Possession goes to Zags. You know, usually the official is on top of that. When they go to the floor, they're usually calling jump ball right there, so there won't be any like discrepancy or anybody getting into any type of anger mode down there in that pile. So it was a little slow by the officials that time to call the jump ball. Or actually, Steven called timeout, didn't he?
He did, Craig.
That is a smart play by a player once you get possession of the ball.
Great catch, Harris, and the finish. Sacre with the assist. I love that play in this game.
Oh, the Zags come out of the timeout, and what do they draw up? The high-low. Got your big 7-footer out there throwing to a 6'8" guy that posted up. He's been just on a fire lately, scoring in the post.
Johnson. Mafra again from the elbow. That's off. Harris with another rebound for GU. Harris now with 5 rebounds. And now a whistle inside. And this is on Roberto Mafra. So free throw when we come back. Stay with us. Fans, be sure to tune in to the Mark Few Show Sunday nights on KHQ in Spokane, Tuesdays at 7 on FSN Northwest. Each week we bring you insights, interviews, and behind-the-scenes access to Mark Few and the Gonzaga basketball program.
I know you dig deep in your questions to Coach Few, don't you, on those?
He kind of rambles, have you noticed?
He does.
I don't have to ask him a lot of questions.
No, you do. I mean, you kind of just set it forward and.
Yeah, I'm just kind of like the moderator, you know, like meet the press.
Meet the press.
Just
That's
like
a good
meet
one.
Few.
That's a good one. Meet Few.
I appreciate that you like that one.
I do enjoy it. I mean, this is the first time that we actually get to see Mark in that kind of a situation.
Yeah, no, it's great.
Yeah, so I mean, he's such a brilliant mind anyway.
Wow.
You know, in basketball, come on, give me a break.
No, I'll give you that.
Yeah, he's got that going for him. But it
He's
also
going to appreciate that you call him a brilliant mind. When I think Einstein, I kind of think of Few.
relatively speaking.
Yes.
Okay.
That ball was 3/4 of the way in and squirted out. 12-point game. This is USD style, Craig. It's hard to put them away.
It is, and you know, we said that they could keep the score low, but they just had a real problem on the offensive end putting the ball in the hole.
Wow, Brandon Johnson's a tough character. Absolutely hammered inside.
Well, you know, he was a senior last year, and he'd already redshirted once, right?
Medical redshirt.
A medical redshirt last year to get the year of eligibility back this year.
.710 to play. Johnson now with 13 points on 7 of 10 from the free throw line, 3 of 12 from the field.
And he's averaging right at 16 points a game, so should be able to get his average.
Timeout, Lewis. Could not get the ball in.
And I don't know why more teams don't do that. Did you see Elias all over Lewis on the out of bounds? Take away his vision. Take away that. Then the other guys can pressure, right? And stay with whoever they're guarding and make it tough to get the ball in bounds.
That's why I think a player like Will Foster is the ultimate defender on the inbound.
Well, you know who
Austin Day a year
Austin
ago.
Day was, and Tommy Lloyd will tell you that they put Austin on every out of bounds because of his wingspan. You're exactly right. And I don't know how many times we saw him steal the ball, you know, by himself, tip it on the the inbounds pass coming in, and then get the basketball. But yeah, I think one thing that all coaches will tell you is never take the guy off of the ball from out of bounds.
7:10 to play in San Diego. Greg Heinster and Craig Elo were courtside for Gonzaga and USD. 56-44 our score. Johnson with a nice catch. And he's guarded by Bull Kong. Johnson trying to break him down, spins into the middle. Free ball on the way. No good by number 32, Ken Ransiford. Zachary wanting the ball inside. And now the double team came. Got it to Bolden.
San Diego did a nice job, though, getting out of the double team and taking the extra pass away from the Zags to the guy that was open.
10 on the shot clock. Harris inside from Zachary.
Well,
that's too easy.
Well, on the tape tomorrow, they're going to, Billy and Mike Burns and all those Kyle Bankheads down there, Bill Carrs, are going to show Ransiford that you don't leave the guy from the baseline to come double team. Because when you did that, he left Elias Harris wide open on the baseline. Now, when you double team, you want to come from the top or from the offside. You never go from the guy that's opposite the element in the other block. And Robert did a nice job of reading that, too, getting Elias Harris the basketball.
Under 6 to play. Harris leading Gonzaga in scoring, 16.7 rebounds. Bull Kong in front of the rim.
Oh.
Oh. Uh-oh.
Elbow.
Elias Harris is hurt.
Yeah, the floor is not forgiving. He landed right on his elbow.
Second personal, 17.
Mark Few over to look at his prized freshman.
Newcomer of the year.
5:44 to play.
And player of the year.
And a 14-point lead.
Returning to the Toronto's lineup, number 20, Matt Doyle.
Maybe lower
Elias
back.
obviously in a lot of pain.
Yeah, maybe the back.
Another look at it right here.
See, he's off of his feet are off of the ground. Bam, right on the lower back. I thought maybe his elbow hit, but it is. Back. Yeah, it's lower back. But you know they're a Nike school, so they got all that. I mean, all that stuff they wear underneath now.
I don't think the padding helped.
It's that little diamond stuff.
Yeah,
they say that it works.
Hurt.
Yeah, the floor is not forgiving.
The Toronto's are in the bonus.
Yeah, he came down pretty hard on that lower back, and that's what broke his fall.
And Jackson now at the free throw line. And Mark Few wanting to know why Jackson's at the free throw line when I believe it was one of the bigs that was underneath Harris when he came down. 5:44 to play and a 14-point lead. And Jackson hits the first. I have a feeling we've seen the last of Elias Harris this game.
A 13-point lead could be 12 here if he makes this free throw with 5:44. Yeah, you're still pretty comfortable.
No, I'm not talking about because of the game. I'm talking because of the injury. I don't think they need him. This game's not over. Oh, need him to come back. I don't think he will though. Oh, he was hurting that bad and very stiff when he went to the bench.
See,
he sat down very gingerly.
I'm thinking the game is pretty close to over. I don't think San Diego has showed me anything tonight that would say differently that they can make up 12 points in 5 minutes.
Brandon Johnson
has been off.
He has been off shooting, but you know how that can change. Especially when when San Diego knows that Elias Harris is out of the game, that's got to give them a bit of a jump, a bit of a boost. What do you think?
Well, from our advantage point, yes, it is. You do think that. But right now, looking at the faces on those young men out there, they look defeated.
U.S. Senior Open coming to Sahali Country Club in Sammamish, Washington, July 26th through August 1, 2010. Don't miss your chance to see Freddie Couples in his first Senior Open. Buy tickets now at the 2010usopen.com. I don't know. I guess if Fred Couples on the senior tour, I shouldn't call him Freddie anymore.
Grandpa Freddie. Grandpa Fred.
So it remains a 14-point game. Rancifer with it. And now Lewis. Zachary right out there. Bill Greer wanted the foul. Lewis drives the lane. Or the baseline.
It's a charge.
That's a charge. Bo Kong came over there in plenty of time.
And see, that's what I was talking about. On that particular possession, Dorr and Lewis kept the ball on one side of the floor, never made it to the other side of the floor, and then got a charging foul called on him. So I don't know if they have the offense out there to make up a 14-point lead in 5 minutes.
Point well taken. Loose ball. Brandon Johnson with it. Up to Jackson. Drives into the lane. Has it stripped away. Johnson with it now. Dorr makes the three, steps back. That's long. Jackson with the rebound. And the putback. 60-48. Jackson now with 14. Goodson. There's Rob Zachary. And another turnover. Jackson up court to Johnson. As we hit the 4-minute mark, Dorr open three. That one's off. Stephen Gray with it. Gonzaga with the opportunity now. They hit that three, Craig, it'd have been back to 9.
If is a big word, boy.
I knew you were going. I knew you were going there.
If I would have used a certain fly, I would have caught a 40-pound fish. There's a lot of ifs.
So somebody just threw a quarter on the floor here, and I heard the official tell the PA announcer this is the second occasion now we've had something thrown on the floor. So now the warning will be given to the fans here at USD. And the warning's gone out. So the next time anything's thrown on the court, it'll be a technical foul. And look who's checking back in.
I told you they could wear all those pads.
You're like Nostradamus.
Yeah.
Elias Harris about to check back in for Gonzaga. Well, Pepperdine unbeaten coming into tonight.
Yeah, they got a game tonight.
And they're on the board next for GU. What do you think?
Coming to town on Thursday. I think they will roll into town and roll out of town with a loss.
You see the upcoming schedule: Pepperdine and Loyola Marymount on Saturday, and then they're at Santa Clara, at San Francisco. They won't see San Diego again until the 13th of February.
They are 2-0. I mean, it's in an awkward place in your body. I mean, you cannot. Yeah.
Thanks for that vision. 3:45 to play. Gonzaga up by 12. I guess that's a creative way of describing that area.
Well, there's just no way that like a broken arm or a broken hand, you cast it, right? Keep it from moving. And in that area, you just can't. Well, I guess I've seen guys in full body cast.
Here's Harris. Fakes the three, and now he drives right to the rim in the lay-in. I think he's feeling all right.
That's what you love about Elias's game. It's the three-point shot. He got there, showed it, got the defense off the ground, and then put it on the floor and went right to the rim.
Rancifer hits.
I like Rancifer. I like his.
I like his game.
Yeah.
I'm surprised he's not in the starting lineup yet.
He's shown a lot of energy. He's shown a lot of spunk out there. He bounces really well.
And Harris again. He is stripped, and it stays with GU. 2:49 on the clock. Boy, it is unbelievably quiet in this arena.
There's no energy. You know, the Zags starting out on the West Coast Conference tour this week. You know, starting with Portland on the road, St. Mary's on the road, and San Diego, all three big rivals of them. You would think that this rivalry has lost some of its touch or flair, hadn't it?
Two more by Harris. Johnson right to the rim, missed it. And Harris with the rebound.
Yeah,
so
usually
Gonzaga
this
now will
place,
take some time off the clock.
this place is rowdy. I mean, I've been in here, like you said before, where I've came down in like 2003. I think that was Dick Al's team that lost the championship game in the tournament here.
No, that was Violet. Violet was hurt.
Violet was hurt, yeah.
So Blake Stepp, Richard Fox, and those guys.
Ferrero's had a big
3 on the shot clock. Here's Kong off the front of the rim. Harris kept it alive, but he's called for the foul.
Rebounding foul. Gonzaga's number 20.
Oh, here you go. Matt Dorr is going to the free throw line. One,
Wow.
we'll see this all month.
Yeah.
Number 20, Matt Dorr.
Yeah, this is just be his 5th free throw attempt of the season. He's started 16 games.
But is a good free throw shooter.
How do you know?
Just he's a good three-point shooter, so he's got.
Yeah, but look at Bull Kong's numbers.
You put him up close, yeah, and he needs that extra 3 feet.
Bolden by Jackson.
You know, if you look at the game, Matt Bolden has played a lot of minutes, but not his usual self.
Bolden driving reverse left hand.
He heard me.
6 points. And it's a 16-point Gonzaga lead. Johnson. Jackson, quick trigger. Gray blocked it.
Substitution timeout.
Well, Gonzaga's going to get to 3-0 in the West Coast Conference, Craig. And I know the perception is that their schedule in league play started very, very difficult. At Portland, at St. Mary's, maybe their 2 toughest games of the year, and they've already got them behind them.
Yeah.
It bodes well for them winning another regular season title.
Yeah, because all those teams that you just talked about have to come in and play in the kennel, where it's just, you know as I do, tough place to win.
Oh, very difficult.
I think Santa Clara is the only WCC team that has won there, right? They've only lost 3, Wake Forest, Washington State, and Santa Clara, right?
Portland State.
And Portland State, yeah.
Well, that's going to do it. 18-point Gonzaga win. They're 3-0 inside the West Coast Conference. And now they turn their attention to the Pepperdine Waves on Thursday and the Loyola Marymount Lions on Saturday. Both teams just happy to watch the clock run out. San Diego falls to 1-3. Gonzaga 3-0. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll take a timeout. We've got more to come from San Diego. Stick with us. Gonzaga a 68-50 winner. And welcome back to the Jenny Craig Pavilion in San Diego. Gonzaga scoring a 68-50 win against the USD Toreros. They're now 3-0 inside the West Coast Conference. And the player of the game, Craig, Elias Harris, our Group Health Impact Player of the game.
He is wonderful tonight. 20 points, 9 rebounds, 8 of 13. Took a bad fall and came back and played and got a couple baskets after that.
Ladies and gentlemen, Craig Elo, Greg Heister, our whole crew says good night from San Diego. MLK. We'll be seeing you soon.